Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my precious pack, and welcome back once more to VEGA Conflict. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go through the Umbra Rising event that ends in essentially half a day at this point. I'm going to go through the three targets I'm recommending based on their drops and things like that. Bit of fresh water there real quick. Okay, what are we going to go after? Well, the prizes are actually fairly straightforward, and at this point I'm positive I've recommended different ships of different types, and right now I'm trying out different builds, and I'm trying about something similar to the wall of guns I had when I was using Axis when I built a fleet specifically for farming the... what are the name of them? The Demon Core Raider 65s, 60 and 65s, but the fleet was mainly built to take out the 60s very easily for no repair time, essentially. I'm doing something similar to that, and as such, the targets I'm going to recommend, as well as the prizes, are going to be based slightly more heavily around that idea, that test fleet. So let's go ahead and let's hop right into it. First off, you're going to want to pick up the Gargoyle Carrier, the Medusa Destroyer, and the Ogre Battleship. You're going to want to pick up 10 Gargoyle Carrier Mark II boxes, 15 Medusa Destroyer boxes, and 10 Ogre Battleship Mark II boxes. As for weapons, primarily for the builds, you're going to want level 1 and 2 Nova Missiles for the Ogres, level 1 and 2 Ablative Armor. You're actually going to be using mostly level 2 on the destroyers and the battleships, and you're not going to really have Thonian armor because you're going to be matching with a commander. As for any type of blight or anything like that, I'm not using blight, I'm just going for a fairly straightforward blueprint test build on them, as well as a few other tiny builds that I think could be fun. Other than that, the prize store I noticed is fairly barren actually, without any other tech other than the Umbral. It's a bit lacking. I'll give it that. And, the main thing that I noticed is that there are no prize boxes because it's mobilization. No, it's a different event entirely. It's the first time this is run, and it doesn't have any prize boxes for the lower levels. And that's one thing that if it's a special event, Altarian, Umbral, Pharmacon, one thing that they should all have in common is that they should have the gold and the silver prize boxes that the players have come to know and love from the monthly events. But what are the three targets we're going to be going after? The Umbra Hunter, Umbra Contagion, and the Umbra Hellion. Level 100, 100, and 90. Because for the fleet, mostly I've collected everything to build Mark IIIs, but for the targets, all you have to do is just step down a tier, and I haven't taken a look at them, so correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I'm positive that the Hunter fleet is similar or the same as what they are at level 100 as they are at 90, and the Umbral Hellion fleet is the same at level 90 as level 100. They may have slightly more ships in them or slightly less, as well as have different damage types, things like that. And the Umbral Contagion I haven't hit yet, so that's going to be the first time going after them in a while, because I already built up a mark upgraded Pharmacon carrier somewhere. No, not Pharmacon, right here, Mark V Gargoyle, the Umbral carrier. But the build that we're going to be talking about is these guys, but I'm going to save them for a different video. Right now it's just the primary prizes. So let's go ahead and let's hit the first on the list, which is the Hunter. Actually, I need to tell you what I'm going to be using. I haven't used my Segfault for next to anything, surprisingly, and I haven't really been bothering with upgrading because I've been waiting on the Altarian Dreadnought because I wanted to use my Behemoth to upgrade the Altarian one, then use the Altarian one in turn to upgrade the Pharmacon one. So, as their mark upgrade, they'll kind of go up together, so, Mark 1, Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 2, and Mark 3, Mark 3. And the build that I have is anti-Umbral because that's what I've been fighting. And since I'm not fighting unique blight damage targets yet, it's an explosive build because most of the targets that I've been fighting thus far have been dealing explosive damage. And due to the changes with the refit, this will be extremely easy to change. So if it needs to be changed so you can fight the other targets, feel free to. In the next event, or the next time the Mark 5 prize boxes are available on targets, I will be hitting them because the fleet will be all Mark 4 at that point with a Mark 3 carrier, so I'll need to hit Mark 4 targets for the carrier next time. I'm drying my throat out with all the talking. But let's go ahead and let's hit the Hunter target first, now that you know what I'm using. Oh, one more thing, the Fleet Commander Victus, not maxed out, only level 70, so he isn't providing insane bonuses or anything like that yet. Now we can commence the hit against the Hunter target. Welcome to the Umbra Hunter 100. And I do remember the 90 now, and it was basically the same way this one was, so as long as it's the same as it was from what I remembered it as when I was originally mark upgrading a few ships, it should be the same and you should be just fine doing this. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to rack up under 5 minutes repair time for this attack real quick. And the attack is fairly straightforward. It's just rush the destroyers and gun them down because they're a priority target, because unlike everything else, they have blight weapons. So they have a little bit of precedence put onto them. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to oblige them and just obliterate them in a little bit of time. And no, this build isn't complete because I'm missing the level 3 Celestial Pharmacon Special Optics, or whatever it needs to be called. And I still need to farm it up. on my one target away, because during last event I was farming and I lost the fleet that I was actually using before I could actually finish it. So, a little disappointment on my part there. Try not to get hit by that little guy as you tear them apart. Primarily just dodge all the missiles by staying moving forwards and only realign yourself when you need to hit the targets from the side or the back. But the primary objective, just avoid damage, primarily let the squadrons do the work while you're phased out, but you should be just fine for the main part. See you back at base. Okay, just waiting for them to return to base so we can check the repair time, and then we'll be moving on to the Umbral Hellion target, which will be dropping the Mark 4 boxes for the Ogres, and they will be part of the build as well. And again, I can't wait to play around with the build a bit more than what I have. I already have the general premise in mind. I still need to work on the variations of weapons on the ships, but for now, the destroyers have a primarily energy weapon fitting, but I want to throw in a few additional ranged weapons. I was thinking probably Vulcan Cannon or maybe Eclipse Drivers just for a little bit of sustained damage, something like that. Less than 4 minutes, not bad. Now let's go take out a Hellion. Welcome to the level 100 Hellion target. Let's show this Umbral threat what we can do. First off, I'm going to begin by turning around, running away to gain some distance and to stretch the fleet out a bit, because I want to destroy the destroyer right away. And I'm going to move to either the right or the left, because I want to further split up the fleet. And the next target will either be, depending on how the fleet splits up, the cruisers and the frigates, or the battleships. Do not take them all on at once, and you should be able to achieve a fairly low repair time, or no repair time, depending on how many times you get hit and how they split up. But mostly I've been taking no repair time. Every now and then I take over 5 minutes damage. Maximum that I've seen so far was 18 minutes, and that was the first fight. Average repair time, though, has been about 6 minutes, 12 seconds to 6 minutes and 15 seconds, depending on the amount of damage. There we go. I was about to say, is that cruiser going to turn around? Nope. That one seems to be sure set in its ways. And the reason I choose to destroy the little destroyer in this one first is because his firing arc. It's extremely easy to take advantage of this ship and just rip it apart. And I'm going to make sure I can fire all the guns on the target. And begin accelerating before that happens. And it'll be torn apart. And it looks like we're going to get a free cruiser out of it as well. Nice. without any backup to take the squadron off him, they'll do most of the rest of the work on him. Another battle. Oh, the cruiser went way off over there. Okay. And the battleship is clumped up with the frigates. Okay, that's going to be a little bit of a hamper, but due to the explosive resistant shell, it should be no problem. I'm going to rush the battleship, rip it apart, there we go. And next up we're going to go after, whoa, those two are just going way out, they're all alone. You know what, while they're over there dancing together, let's actually rip apart the rest of the frigates. Since they're already separated and out all alone, it should be no problem cleaning up these little guys. And surprisingly, if you hug them like this, you can actually destroy them, and they can't fight back because of the close proximity to destroy. You're not within the your dreadnought. You're not within their firing range, and you can actually fire on them at point blank thanks to the tick cannon and just rip them apart. And yes, this fight does take a little bit longer, but again, ensuring free repair time on a target that you're trying to farm for mark upgrades for a different fleet that is just for playtesting fun. And yes, quite a few of the fleets that I build are just for playtesting and fun. I see the battleship is taking an interest, finally. Well, it's a good thing we're going into phase. 99% damage, but the health involvement is starting to look like we're getting dangerously close to 5-minute value. Need to get in close to that battleship before I fall out of phase, and it should be no problem. Yep, he's gone. Now, the cruiser is the easiest one when it comes to them. When they're isolated and alone, you can typically just fly right up to them and pick them apart, or you can fly up in their blind spot to be able to get that initial barrage of damage off before they can turn around. And thanks to how quickly Segfault moves and can rotate, that is extremely easy to do. But that doesn't look like that's the case here. 98% repair hit points. That should be about 6 minutes. Let's go ahead and let's wait and see. I jinxed it. I saw the repair time in that blitz. I saw 8 minutes and 18 seconds instead of the average of 6. But low enough repair time, you just go ahead and take a 3-minute break, you know, stretch your legs, go get a drink, get a snack, something like that. Come back, and it'll be ready to go again. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about... Actually, there's nothing else to talk about. We're going to go ahead and we're going to sit around for a few seconds here real quick. Actually, I don't want to sit around and wait. I'm too lazy to do that. And it's late, and I don't feel like waiting. Final target is target I haven't hit yet, and that is the Contagion. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at what it's got. Okay, what are they gonna contain? Carrier, a few destroyers. I'll gun the destroyers down first, because it won't take long to get to them and just rip them to pieces. Oh, they're going to be coming in sets. Well, that's completely irrelevant, because I'm going after certain ships first. And I have the speed and the maneuverability to do so. See you later, suckers. Speaking of suckers, let's go ahead and let's slip right up in behind them. We're gonna phase out. I don't want to do that just yet. I want to be in phase when I slip up by them. I want to just smash the two of them extremely efficiently with as little damage received as possible. Oh, there we go. Do your thing, little squadron guy. Yes. There we go. Those destroyers, well, the frigates, they're doing a lot more damage. They were actually eating through that shield. I wasn't moving, so that was to be expected. And what is about to happen is I'm about to get hurt. Oh, never mind, it's just explosive. It'll hurt a little bit. And the rest of the fleet is attacking, so let's go ahead and let's rush the other two. Actually, the final destroyer. Looks like this is going to be at least a 20-minute repair time for the first attack. But as always, first time is always a bit rough. And that one's gone. Final target. Let's go ahead and let's start picking apart the battleships. There's two more destroyers there. They have blight cannons. I can see that. Well, not blight cannons, the blight missiles. Go ahead and sit inside the firing range for that little guy. Oh yeah, that hurt. That hurt bad. So let's take a quick run. Let's regroup my thoughts and let's see about picking off the straggler, who actually went off on his own. Now I'm just trading damage at this point. There is no tactic anymore. I'm just hitting everything in range. Well, actually, speaking of that, I could stay behind the destroyers at least so they can't shoot me. However, that explosive damage, that hurts a lot. Let's see. Destroyer or battleship? Destroyer or battleship? All at once. Part frigates, phase out, and getting close to the battleship after completely messing up the movement order. Close enough, he can't fire on me thanks to the short-range weapons. I can fire on him. All squadrons have that one handled. That was a bit of repair time. Now, naturally, that was the first attack against the Contagion targets, and it wasn't refined at all, because, again, first time that I've hit them since I got the Mark V, and I basically got the Mark V in the first day that the targets first became available, and I remember when we were farming them, how I got them, it wasn't even from an official target for them, it was from the Altarian Platoon B, that stupidly easy one to destroy if you have a behemoth. But that's going to be it, everybody. Those were the simple recommendations, primarily for fleets. And again, all you do is you drop down using the targets if you're just barely starting the fleet out, or if you're going for a different fleet entirely. Again, the fleets that I build are primarily for entertainment purposes of personal reasons, naturally. Because if I'm building something, it's got to be fun. It can't just be something I just build to use because it's brokenly overpowered. Reporting. Let's take a look at the repair time. 47 minutes, ouch, for the first fight. I know for a fact I could have done better than that. But I'm too tired to think it through. I'll think of something after I get a little bit more rest. But for now, this is the VEGA video to start the week off with. I wonder what I'm going to make next. But that's going to be it, everybody. If you have any questions, or if you have any you'd like to know about fittings or anything like that I've used on the channel before, feel free to ask in the comments section. I'll go ahead and I'll reply at the beginning of the next video. Other than that, be safe out in the void, have a good time, and as always, I will see you next time.